That is 9 losses in a row, 0-5 in the NFC North. Take the North. Never give it back. CHGO Bears postgame starts right now. The Lions over the Bears. No answers is right. The Bears are lacking answers. And, I think the most exciting thing we've seen all day is Corey Wootton's pajamas.
You got to have fun, right?
Yeah.
When things are going sideways, you got to have fun and live a little bit. It's been a little tough to watch the Bears at times, but hopefully everyone tuning in, they'll get a little excitement to see me in my PJs with my patented pillow. We're ready to go, baby.
Comfort pillow. Got to have that ready to go. This has been rough. This has been the season from hell. Adam Hoge, Mark Carman, Corey Wootton. Greg Braggs was at the game. He will be on with Lance Briggs after us on CHGO Bears After Dark.
I did not think, Adam, that we would get to the Ed Rooney Ferris Bueller's Day Off 9 times. 9 losses in a row. Haven't won since London.
That's what's crazy to me. Yeah. The vibes in London, there's no one.
No one saw this coming. No one. The most cynical Bears fan of all time did not see this coming. We got a ton to cover, but what we like to do here, Woot.
Maybe they should have played the Denny Green clip. If you want to crown them, because we were crowning the Bears after that Jaguars game. We were. Everybody was drinking the Kool-Aid. Everything was good. The offenses arrived. They're finally going to make – this is a playoff team for sure. And look how the tides have changed.
I mean, this was tides. This was a tsunami that hasn't stopped. With that, let's open up our show with the Adam Hoge 9 losses in a row, 34-17, instant reaction.
I gotta be honest with you. I need to go on a little rant here for a second. I can't wait. Let's go.
So, Kevin Warren, I would pull out your checkbook right now, and I would write Benjamin Johnson and hand him as many Benjamins as he wants. I am oddly not in too bad of a mood after this game.
Not at all.
I feel a sense of optimism, perhaps, for the future. If they take the guy that was on the other sideline and they pair him with the quarterback that continues to ball his ass off, taking hit after hit, gets right back up, exhausted as all hell. I thought Caleb mostly played well today. There were certainly some misses here and there, like the first play of the game, but he fixed some things from Monday night. There were some really good throws. He's obviously still talented. He's got no help in front of him. He got some help from his wide receivers at times today. That was good to see, and then other times not so much. But, yeah. Ben Johnson, like in Lion King when Scar is just playing with his food? That's what Ben Johnson was doing with the Bears defense in the second half today. The Lions just playing with their food and running fumble-rooski, fake trip fumbles, play action. I saw it right in the moment. That was a design play. It was awesome. And this guy's got something every single week. So whatever you can do to get that guy with that quarterback, you're going to feel better about your life. And even the people that are hating on that right now, he doesn't have the same offensive line. That's all true. That's all fair. You're still going to be excited if and when that gets done. And if I'm Kevin Warren and whatever power Ryan Poles still has, I'd get that done as soon as possible. Now, they can't interview him. They can't actually write a check right now. But as soon as they legally can, I would do that.
Yeah, complete agreement there. But I got to tell you, we could talk about Ben Johnson a ton from now until hopefully the Bears hire him and Ben Johnson miraculously gets some belief that he can win in Chicago. Let's hope that all happens. But to me, there was one moment early in the game which underlined the difference between the leadership that the Lions have and the leadership that the Bears have. And I'm not saying the Lions aren't more talented, because they are, and they're a better football team. But Tyreek Stevenson pushes Jameson Williams well after the play. No penalty. Jameson Williams doesn't like it, taunts him back, gets a penalty. 5 seconds later, there's Dan Campbell grabbing him and saying, hey, we don't need this. We don't went on for a good 10, 15 seconds. Right there, contact, player, coach, communication in the moment. 5 seconds later after that, seemingly he's catching an 82-yard bomb, streaking down the field, and he has an unbelievable performance. That is leadership. That is handling something that you don't want. Yeah. That is accountability. The Bears have none of that. Zippo. And to me, that is the underlining of the difference in a lot of ways of the Bears and the Lions right now outside of the talent.
I couldn't agree with you more. Coaching matters, and whoever the next coach is, I'm hoping it's Ben Johnson, just because of the clinic he put on today. How he's elevated Jared Goff's game has been unbelievable. The creativity with play calling. And think about it from a perspective. Jared Goff has been impressive, but Caleb Williams is more talented than Jared Goff. Imagine when Ben Johnson gets a hold of him, they rebuild that offensive line in this offseason. I think the sky is the limit. You know, obviously Caleb Williams started out not too well, missing some throws, but the way he rebounded, showed resilience, the scrambles when he was pressured, the ability to throw some of those dimes on those 2 consecutive touchdown drives was really impressive. So the Bears do have their quarterback of the future. Now it comes down to the head coach. So I think the future is bright. Obviously, the season has been a whirlwind, right? 4-2 to where they are right now. It's been frustrating, but I think that this offseason is so crucial to pick the right head coach to lead this staff. And I'm kind of just wondering the direction they're going to go with Ryan Poles or whatever it may be, because we had kind of talked about during the game for a O-line guru. How has he done to rebuild this O-line in 3 years? Take the North and never give it back. Building the trenches. How has that gone so far? On both sides of the ball, we're not where we need to be. So I think if they're going to make a push, because you look at the other teams in the NFC North, right? We look at Green Bay, we look at Minnesota and Detroit, who we just played. They're all competing for a Super Bowl this year. Bears are not. So how do we get to a point where we're competing for a Super Bowl, we're competing in the playoffs? And I think it's through building the trenches.
Yeah, I want to have a kind of a deeper discussion in a little bit about Ryan Poles' future, because I've already seen some photos. You could hear it through the broadcast. Our guy Pat Norton, that was at the game today, was sending us messages. Like, the Lions took over Soldier Field today. The Lions.
That's never happened. Ever.
And they just, on the same day the Bears just lost their 9th in a row, they just set a franchise record for wins. Their fans are taking over not only the stadium, but also our tailgate earlier this morning, which was like at least 50% Lions fans.
Thank you for coming. We really enjoyed hosting you.
We appreciate you. You're more than welcome.
Our Let's Go Bears chat should have been like beat Green Bay. Because,
well, it should have been Green Bay sucks.
Yeah.
Everybody could agree on that. But my point is like that, if you're the McCaskies, if you're Kevin Warren, how does that not stick with you?
That's never been the case, right?
Well,
Detroit has never taken over a stadium ever.
It used to be the Bears fans would take over Ford Field.
Not so fast anymore.
And from if you're talking about from George McCaskey and Kevin, and their message right now basically to Bears fans is keep the faith. I mean, when you got up there and fired Matt Eberflus and Kevin wanted to make it out like this was a phenomenal day in Bears history, that from here moving forward, we will get it right, and Ryan's a young general manager, and he's going to get it right, and this is going to be a great day, and all the things that he was trying to sell. And, you know, if you run into George nowadays, I think he's going to be telling you to keep the faith too. For Bear, so to rewind back to where we just started the show, to keep the faith, you better knock it down with who's coming in here, not just from a getting the fans excited standpoint, but from an actual can do the job and take the talent that is here, and there's a bunch of talent here. Add on to it with a huge offseason, obviously, draft and free agency, and get out of where they are right now. This is look. Let's just name the most losses in the history of the Chicago Bears in one season. The most. No Bears team ever.
You mean in a row?
Yes.
What?
In a row. I'm sorry. No Bears team has ever lost 9 in a row in a single season.
Wait, didn't they lose 10 in a row? Matt Eberflus's first season?
No, they made the playoffs his first year.
Matt Eberflus's first season, they lost 14 combined between the two.
I was thinking of Nagy. Yeah.
Are you saying that it was 10?
I thought it was 10 in a row that season.
Now I'm going to have to double check. Now I'm going to have to double check my work, but I was being screamed at the tailgate that this would be the most at 9. So let me double check that.
Wait a minute. Who is your source?
I'm going to throw Emma under the bus. No, I don't know.
You just took some random guy telling you that?
No, it was somebody that I don't know who said it. Whatever. I should. I'll double check my work. Regardless, either way, 9 losses in a row in a single season. Whether it's the most or not is unbelievable.
10 in a row in 2023.
Okay, fine.
That was 2 years ago.
Well, we can catch it.
That was since the CHGO launch.
We'll catch it Thursday. We got a shot at it. My bad.
11 might be on the table.
It is on the table.
That's bad, especially going from 4-2, feeling like you're on top of the world after that Jaguars game. Everybody's crowning them. Oh, Chicago Bears are going to make the playoffs this year. And then where we are today, it's a sad state. And I think we should have seen maybe the writing on the wall. I think maybe that game inflated everybody's head about where the Bears truly were. It's just sad to see because you have so much talent on the offensive side of the ball, from receiver to running back. Obviously, the offensive line has deficiencies, but you thought maybe you could scheme around that and get to next season. But this offseason, they really have to build in the trenches and really solidify the offensive line. You have a quarterback that you feel great about. Now protect him. Right, so he's not running for his life at times. So that one pass when Keenan Allen was wide open that he couldn't get to because he's under pressure, he can complete that type of pass.
Well, and that's the thing. Great, keep the faith, but I'm looking for reasons to do so, and that's why I started the show talking about the coordinator on the other sideline. Because what's the faith? I'm sorry, which of the 3 fumbles, or which of the 3 times the Bears defense has jumped off sides on high school,
frustrating.
Hard counts. That's supposed to keep the faith. I'm just. It's so hard to do that right now, and so you're in. Oh, and the head coach, the interim head coach, is kicking field goals down 20. That still make it. It's already 3-possession game now. Still 3-possession game. What? And then he's punting down 17. So, and that's another thing I wanted to address. Thank you to whoever had it in the comments earlier, because I know I raising my hand, talked up Thomas Brown, but I never once said they should hire him. What I said was they need to fire the guy that needed to be fired and give this guy who's actually doing good stuff with Caleb Williams an opportunity to see if he can be the guy going forward. And every single time I said that, I said, but now we get the opportunity to see if he could do it. Yeah. I'm good. I'm good.
Yeah, we've seen everything.
I don't need to see my guy kicking field goals down 20 when there's nothing to lose in the entire season, and I want to see what Caleb Williams can do in that moment. So we learned. That was the point, because the other alternative, and it probably would have been a small percentage, but there was a scenario where they keep Eberflus the rest of the year. Thomas Brown, because he's upstairs in the box, the offense keeps making progress, and then everybody loves him. The players talk him up, and they're like, well, maybe he should be a candidate to be the head coach going forward. Well, but you'd never know. You didn't give him the opportunity. Exactly. Now we're at least seeing that.
Well, and for those who are worried that if you promote Thomas Brown, then you're going to be messing with Caleb. Well, Caleb threw for 334 today.
I'm not worried about that,
Yeah. And, Keenan had his best game of his season, 141 yards on 9 catches. Rome had 77 out. Obviously the 2 fumbles were painful. And even DJ, if you go by gambling numbers, he hit his over at 68. So the offense was fine today. The defense has fallen off a cliff. And if Ryan Poles wants to put that all on Andrew Billings, that's really a reach.
Yeah, I mean, Andrew Billings was a critical part of this defensive line, but you look at from the secondary, Jonathan Owens multiple times, eyes in the backfield, not keeping his eyes on his key, and Jamison Williams, who can run with the best of them. He runs like a track star. Good luck catching up to him in a situation. He looked like he was barely moving on some of those plays, torching him. So eyes on your keys, guys not doing the fundamentals, right? Jalen Johnson, again, seeing business decisions on plays on the goal line. Let me come in there last and kind of throw my shoulder in there like half-ass effort. That stuff is not gonna create a winning culture and mentality for this team. So whoever comes in here has to set the tone. Like you talked about Dan Campbell when Jamison Williams did that, right? Takes him to the sideline. Hey, we're not going to do that. Has anyone done that with Tyreek Stevenson? Have we seen anything like that? Because they let stuff creep in. We're the leaders on this team, right, to nip that in the butt as well. There's none of that from the top down, and that's the problem with this Bears team.
Well, and I talked to Thomas Brown at least about the celebration part of the Tyreek thing on Friday. We can get to that in a little bit. But first.
Yeah, that actually was an interesting conversation. I heard that. But first, we got to tell you about Sunnyside Cannabis Dispensary because they are here to elevate your winter. Sunnyside is your home for judgment-free cannabis shopping. They have a crazy selection with over 100 different strains to choose from. With easy online ordering and in-store pickup, you can stop in the store nearest you throughout Illinois for expert guidance from their staff or select from quality lines like Cresco or Floracal. And running through the end of the month, you're going to want to take advantage of this. Sunnyside's Scratch and Stash is back again this holiday season. Receive a scratch-off card every time you shop now through December 31st or while supplies last, and the cards are redeemable through January 12th. Every card is a winner. You could win big, like 50% off or $100 off your next purchase. Hurry in to see what you win. Visit Sunnyside.shop for bright buys every day, including 50% off your first 3 online purchases. Enter promo code HICHGO, HICHGO at checkout to qualify. Exclusions apply. Sunnyside Cannabis Dispensary. Bright buys every day, only for 21 plus or Illinois medical card holders.
Get to our franchise focus. Look at Caleb Williams next. But first, shout out to our friends at Family Farms. Their culinary journey, it's woven with passion and dedication and a commitment to crafting the finest bacon-wrapped chicken. Timeless delicacy. It's tantalized the taste buds since 1974. Join them on their flavorful adventure where every bite tells a story of tradition, of quality, and the enduring spirit of Family Farms. That tradition is continuing. You can get that bacon-wrapped chicken. Look for them in the meat department at your local Woodman's, Mariano's. Craving a taste at home? Check out the baconwrappedchicken.com. Baconwrappedchicken.com, one word. Or click on the link for your Amazon store, which also includes the legendary Rocky Rococo's Italian sausage, and find out when our new amazing Cajun Nation flavors become available as well. Experience the flavor that's become a family favorite of generations. Visit your nearest Woodman's, Mariano's, Burcott's, or on Amazon. BaconWrappedChicken.com. Let's take a look. You could almost do that for the quarterback today. Over to our.
You do that one more time.
Setting records. I understand it's hard to celebrate with 9 losses in a row, but some beautiful dimes from Caleb today. The one to Keenan was sweet, and there you see it. 26 of 40, 334 yards through the air, 34 on the ground, 2 more touchdowns, no interceptions. That's 9 games in a row without interception. Hasn't thrown one since the Bears won a game in London. That's kind of hard to believe, too.
Isn't that amazing?
Yeah.
It doesn't make sense.
It makes 0 sense. Which I was going to make as on our pregame show. I was going to make it what matters most, throw a pick. How about that? Let's just change let's change the momentum here.
Do you know how where that ranks him?
Way up there.
326 passes in a row without throwing an interception. 7th most in the history of the NFL.
Pretty good.
That's
stat.
that
Number
is wild.
1, Aaron Rodgers. Number 2, Tom Brady. Number 3, Jared Goff. Number 4, Tom Brady had a second stretch.
Patrick Mahomes.
Justin Herbert, Derek Carr.
My guy.
You got it. Derek
See?
Carr. Then Caleb Williams. That is crazy. And it's one of the weirder parts about this losing streak. And it came up in the game because the Bears turned the ball over twice. Roma Dunze had 2 fumbles, although it gave Caleb one of them. Whatever. they hadn't been turning the ball over that much. They really haven't all season. It has not been a problem.
If you want to go into scary land, like, they've had some injuries, but wow. Caleb's played every game this year. Hasn't thrown any picks. Rome's missed some time, but basically been out there. Same thing with DJ. Same thing with Keenan. They've all been playing.
I don't want to overdo it because, look, we're most likely gonna end this season in a similar spot that we ended with Justin Fields and with Mitch Trubisky, with just enough hope in a season that we would all agree has not been fantastic, but just enough hope to feel like, oh, the coach they're about to hire can fix this. It's the same thing, right? They hired Matt Nagy year 2 for Mitch. They hired Matt Eberflus year 2 for Justin Fields. I do think that even a casual football fan can understand the difference here, that it is there. I'm not saying he's going to the Hall of Fame or that this is 100% working out. We don't know that yet. But even Carm, would you agree that Caleb Williams' rookie season gives you more hope than Mitch Trubisky's and Justin Fields?
I don't know about this even Carm thing. I haven't been negative on Caleb at all. But if you want to go even Carm to me,
sorry.
Yes. Come on. Look, he's at 2,937 yards now. He's at 17 touchdowns. He's at 5 interceptions. He's got a completion percentage of 62. He's had 4 games over 300. Overall, there has been some dips, but once he sort of just got off the ground and started to figure it out. But his third game, albeit throwing it 52 times, he threw for 363, but they've gone way down from there. Caleb has certainly let everybody know that if you had your ducks in a row, if you will, coaching staff, imagine him with an offensive line. Guy's leading the NFL in sacks with 60. I mean, what does that look like? I would think it looks pretty, it's going to look a whole lot better. Imagine him with a defense. So, sure, optimism for the quarterback, I think, is a very realistic, fair take.
Yeah, I think I feel really great about the quarterback position. And you guys know how I felt, right, about potentially keeping Justin Fields. And I think Caleb has definitely, gone through ups and downs. But as far as his passing abilities is unreal. When he's on, he's on. Obviously, start of game sometimes struggles with a little bit of accuracy. But in today's game, and like some of the others, in that second half, he usually performs very well, gets his accuracy in order, and obviously the offensive line is a big thing. But you look at him and Jaden Daniels, right? Everyone's crowning Jaden Daniels potentially as the offensive rookie of the year. Their stats are pretty similar, and Jaden Daniels, in my opinion, is on a way better team, offensive line-wise, defensive, head coach, the whole situation he's in. So I think you have to feel great about the quarterback position, because even without an offensive line, at times running for his life, he's still making plays and being efficient and throwing for over 300 yards multiple times, something that Justin Fields didn't do many times. Mitch Trubisky, you had a couple games here or there, but I think you have to feel great about the quarterback going this offseason. And if I'm the Bears, the big thing, if they do not address the trenches, I'm going to Hallis Hall myself. And I'm doing some swim moves, some dip and rips, some bull rushes into there, and finding out some answers, because you got to surround them with the talent. And the only way they're going to take the next step is building on the trenches, something I've been preaching from the rooftops for 3 years, and they haven't addressed it. So if Ryan Poles is here, right, if you do not address the trenches, I might have to talk man-to-man to you. No disrespect at all, but we need to get these Bears in order. And I think the franchise deserves better, especially from that offensive line position. You got to surround your talent and your future quarterback, your franchise quarterback, with the right personnel.
Yeah. Hey, look, though, I mean, meanwhile, you want the completion. Here's Caleb Williams' updated numbers on the season. I mean, these aren't nothing for a Bears quarterback. He's up to over 3,200 passing yards after today. He's at 19 touchdowns, 5 interceptions. It's a ratio you can definitely live with. Completions percentage, you probably want a little bit higher. It's a 62.2. No question about it. And let's see, we can. Well, okay. I thought I had that in front of me. No, I don't. Then the sacks got to come down. He's up to 60 sacks now. Yeah. That's kind of crazy too. So, but I think it shows you there's enough to work with here, right? That if you can get the coach right, this thing can work. Now, I'm going to warn people. We're going to hear a lot about Jaden Daniels again. Weird how we haven't heard about him a whole lot the last month. But Jaden Daniels and the Commanders just beat the Eagles. A good day for the Lions. We'll talk about the implications of that. Jaden Daniels, 258 today, 5 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. And the Commanders scored 22 points in the fourth quarter to come back and beat the Eagles.
All passing touchdowns or some rush?
Those were all passing touchdowns, yes. He also added 81 yards on the ground on 9 rushing attempts. That's a big result, though, for the Lions, who, after last week's game had pulled into a tie with the Eagles. They still have the tiebreaker, but the Lions, I feel like, really need that 1 seed to have the home games and not have to go play outside, although it didn't really seem like it affected them too much today. All that talk. The Vikings technically, though, still control their own destiny, and if they went out, they would have the 1 seed.
Okay. Look, and I'm seeing in the chat like a lot of people are, Jaden's better than Kmet. Look, you can debate that all you want. The bottom line is the Bears quarterback is good enough if they get things right here.
To be the franchise quarterback that's here for.
Yeah, I feel like people think like there's only one allowed. Like they're like their own individual. Yeah, like they're every year the quarterback classes is in their own little battle, and only one can be the good one.
Yeah, and for the record, I'm not saying in any way, shape, or form that I've been saying for weeks here. I think that you need to get a coach in here who will coach him hard, who's not afraid of him, who's not going to, the way the Bears went about it this year is, I asked the question not to underline my amazingness, but I said to Flus in June, like, hey, so is Caleb the starter there, Matthew? Yep. Or was there a competition? Yep, he's the starter. I was like, okay. Well, did you?
That was just so you would get confirmation you lost a bet.
Yeah, well, it was, but it was also like, it was a little bit odd though at the time. And fine, you won the bet, Hoge, but like, and that's like a 1/10 of 1% about the whole thing here. You did see him come off the field today. He was super upset when Thomas Brown chose to kick a field goal, and that's fine that he's upset. But there's got to be in my mind, a rock solid head coach who can deal with an emotional, at times, young quarterback and get the very best out of him, and also figure out what's going on as far as throwing the ball deep down the field too. That's something that's got to be unearthed, if you will. So look, he ain't perfect. He's a rookie quarterback. I think if you have your eyes open, you see the talent. This is not. I don't think it's some hot take to say that this guy's good enough to be a high-functioning quarterback in the NFL, which is something the Bears have not had.
Well, I think there's a reason why after he plays some of these really great teams, right? The Vikings, he played this week the Lions. Those coordinate, right? Kevin O'Connell, Ben Johnson have been singing praise about Caleb Williams. So I don't think that's by accident. I don't think people say stuff just to say it. I think people really recognize his talent in there. And I think, is it perfect? No. There's a lot of things he needs to clean up, but when he's on, I mean, he throws a pretty dang good ball, threading the needle sometimes to Keenan Allen or DJ Moore or Cole Kmet. It's a thing of beauty. And I think, obviously, it's tough because I talked about this with Amagachi beforehand and Caleb Williams, managing a rookie's confidence. And I think it's been so up and down for him. But the one good thing I love about him is he's a competitor, right? Even when things haven't been good, he's still competing on there. He still wants to make plays. And I think he's going to be a special quarterback one day. I think it's all about how critical this offseason goes for them finding their leader of the future and then building those trenches, because those are going to be the two things that are going to take the Bears where they need to. A coach that's going to come in and not allow this crap that's going on with the Bears, right? Lack of fundamentals, attention to detail, discipline stuff. It's week in and week out, right? We're towards the end of the season. Literally, Jonathan Owens, your eyes are in the backfield. Who is the guy you're covering? You're covering Jamison Williams. Why are your eyes in the backfield? Yeah. So it's little things like that have been creeping up all season in the run game, right? Guys are getting driven off the ball, not in their gaps. It's something that creeps up every week, it seems like. So hopefully in the offseason they'll address this.
Yeah, and bringing up Owens, that wasn't great. Jalen Johnson's also had a rough couple of weeks, and today he's getting a flag for whatever it was.
Edmonds, right, all year. Right, he's one of our highest paid defensive players.
That's another whole category in my mind.
Well, that's why, I want to talk about a couple of these here in a moment, because especially on the defense, there's something Ryan Poles said that I wanted to discuss. But first, this right here is a Miller Lite.
Get a couple of those going, huh?
Tastes very good. Tastes very good. A lot has changed over the years. Not so much the Bears losing football games, but one thing that has not changed, that's the great taste of Miller Lite. Another thing that hasn't changed is that it's less filling. So what is the best thing about the original light beer? Well, Miller Lite sparked this debate in 1975. They still haven't settled it. But what I know is that it is less filling, and it does taste great, like it tastes right now as we get through this post-game show. Miller Lite keeps it simple, undebatable quality, great taste, only 96 calories. Miller Lite is the official beer of the Chicago Bears. You don't have to choose what's best. Miller Lite has great taste and is less filling. Tastes like Miller time. To get Miller Lite delivered right to your door, visit MillerLite.com/CHGO football, or you can find it pretty much anywhere that sells beer. Celebrate responsibly. Miller Brewing Company, Milwaukee, Wisconsin, 96 calories per 12 ounces. Fewer calories and carbs than premium regular beer.
All right. I'd like to, our friends from Circus Sportsbook, they came out to our tailgate today. Had a great time with Derek Stevens and Margaret and the whole crew out there. And then I had a great time betting on Circus Sportsbook today. Pro or college, the app to bet football on is Circus Sports Illinois. Circus Sports betting the way it should be. High betting limits, low holds, exceptional customer service. They got the personal touch. Bet on all your favorite teams in every game this season. Bet on Caleb Williams to go over 212.5 yards and get paid off. It was lovely. Spreads, props, futures, in-game. Circus Sports has it. Fund and bet like a pro from anywhere, anytime in Illinois. Download your new bookie today. CircusSports.com. You got to be 21 or older. Gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER. Also go out to their spot up in Waukegan, which is just a great place to hang out, watch sports, and
I was thinking about
gamble away.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Do we have Keenan Allen?
I'm about 30 seconds away.
Okay.
Yeah,
30 from Keenan.
Well,
new segment.
We have Keenan Allen in the locker room we're going to bring to you here shortly. Also want to hear from Thomas Brown. He is apparently defending his fourth down decisions.
Curious to hear that.
I am, because he's been one
be aggressive.
unlike the last coach, kind of admit when he's wrong too. So I'm curious to hear what he has to say there. And I want to have a deeper discussion too. I want to hear from Keenan, and then I want to talk, because we were having this discussion on the side, like what to do with Keenan Allen after the season, because do you guys know he's close to a career high in touchdowns this season?
Yeah.
He's not like he's having a bad year, but there's been frustrating moments, drops at times.
He just doesn't move the way he used to, but he got
You
himself
keep
open
saying
today.
that, but
Today he was running for celebration, Carm.
Yes, even the run for the celebration looked unbelievably slow.
The thing with Carm, he has his guys and he sticks to them, right? And there's no deviating.
Hey. If you want to bring Keenan Allen back on a team-friendly deal, that's cool.
Well,
I just wouldn't overpay the guy.
You care about Caleb Williams, right?
I do care.
If you ask him if he'd like to bring Keenan Allen back, what do you think he'd say?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure
players should have all the
I'm not sure about
personal
that. The
decisions.
dude dropped 4 balls in one game, Woot. He dropped 4 in one game.
Let's hear what he has to say, and then I want to have that discussion about how much and how long you would give Keenan Allen to come back. Here is what Keenan Allen had to say after the game in the Bears locker room.
Any questions?
Keenan, obviously,
how do you characterize a game like that? You were very good, but obviously it's a 9th straight loss. So what's going through your head right now?
just trying to, do my job, keep fighting, just keep putting good stuff on tape. Yeah.
How do you evaluate Caleb at Daily today? What do you think of his performance?
I think he played well, being resilient, just playing the whole game, getting better throughout the game. The offense, tried to do a good job of staying on the field, making some plays happen. We definitely would love to score more than we did. But
why were you so successful today?
Me.
Keenan, you guys have been down. You guys have been down early for the last. How do you get your arms around what when you have offensive success and you're down 3 scores? Does that count? Does that matter? How much weight do you put in that?
I mean, you have more wins, more victories. It's good to score. Obviously, just being able to be productive on offense, getting better. Caleb being able to get more reps, seeing different things on defense, and ultimately just being able to get better throughout the season. Try to score points. We scored today in the first half. It's been a minute since we did that, so productive and like I said, just trying to get better.
Can you take us to the 45-yarder?
Yeah, double move. We got quarters, so the corner kind of played it a little aggressive. Had an out and up, was able to beat him inside, and perfect ball to catch him around.
What have you? That might have been the longest you think of your career, or at least like.
Nah, don't do me like that.
Longest one in a while. What did that?
It's been a minute.
What's that feel like?
Solid. I'm not that old.
What have you come to admire about Caleb, the way he leads you guys, and even when you guys are trailing to get you guys moving down the field?
Yeah, with a guy like Caleb, you always got a chance to move the ball downfield, 3rd and 18. He runs and gets us close. His legs, his playmaking ability, he's always able to make some shakes and keep us alive.
Keenan, you talked about putting good stuff on paper that all players want to do. You still doing that in the name of being desirous of coming back here? Are you trying to prove yourself to this team still?
Everybody, you just got to prove it to all 32 teams. At the end of the day, that's what it's about. And the last name on your back is really what matters. So I ain't never gonna quit. Keep going.
And that's what the business is. Is it kind of like the haves and have-nots? Did you guys just not up to the standards right now?
Yeah, at the end of the day, that's what it comes down to. Not being good enough, not making enough plays, way too many penalties, too many turnovers. Just got to find a way to eliminate those things.
What are the things that you saw today from Caleb for the offense that you can say this would work early in games and a close game in the fourth quarter as opposed to it just being what the defense is giving you because of the score?
I think it's being aggressive. Once Caleb got in the rhythm, he was able to get some throws downfield. I think it opened up our offense. Screens, short game, play action pass was open today. So,
thank you. Wearing that Chicago hat.
That was about the only thing that screamed Chicago from that interview. Putting stuff on tape.
All the other teams around the league.
32 teams out there. I'm with the chat.
Yeah.
He gone.
See you later.
Ring chasing.
This was a horrible stop in my career. I was having a great time out west. I was catching ball after ball. I was living the dream, and then I showed up here in this mess. I will see you later. Who wants me?
The LL Cool J song, Going Back to Cali. Mm-hmm. I think that's cute for him. He wants to go back to the warm weather. He's out of here.
All right. Well, let's say there's some world in which the Bears are the team offering him the most. How high would you be willing to go? We're talking. I wouldn't do anything more than a 1-year deal. So that might be it right there. Maybe there's a team that offers 2.
Yeah, I would go 1-year deal. $6 to $8 million.
He ain't getting them.
Yeah.
Nope.
Maybe 10 at the most. 1-year deal.
If you want him on the team, I mean, I actually would do 2 and 20 with some level of buyout in year 2, something like that. For you,
I don't hate it. I still think he is helping Caleb. The question is he hurting Rome Odunze at all?
I don't think there's any question about that.
But also, if you take him out of the equation, that's a risk you're taking. You're like, all right, well, now we're putting it all on the rookie. Now the rookie's going to be going into year 2.
Exactly. DJ Moore sometimes being very up and down about how happy he is or seeming if he wants to be there at times. That's been a thing this year. When he hasn't gotten the ball right, when things haven't been going well, he's kind of been, a shell of himself at times. So that's something to think about as well.
Can you draft a wide receiver in the later rounds? In the later rounds, in the later rounds that can do something? Is that too much to ask? I don't think it is. Apparently it is, but it shouldn't be.
Yeah, I think with DJ,
I had that guy. His name was Darnell Mooney.
With DJ and Rome and Cole Kmet, I feel pretty good about that. And I still think they haven't given Cole Kmet the ball enough.
They haven't.
Right? They finally got him involved. He had a touchdown, but I think he's somebody that could be, security blanket for Caleb Williams. So,
Cole Kmet. We don't like Cole Kmet. We like Cole Kmet. We don't like Cole Kmet.
Well, do we like hearing from Cole Kmet?
I'd love to hear from Cole Kmet.
All right. Well, I believe we have Cole Kmet in the locker room after the game. Here he is, the host of the 85 with Cole Kmet. Cole Kmet.
Right now, can you take anything positive out the way?
I don't. I'm kind of done doing that. Yeah. I've been through this now. 2 years ago, it felt like, you're trying to find positives through things. And, it's hard for me to, be real with myself and find positive when you lose 34-17. So.
Is there anything you can take away, though? I mean, Caleb's making big throw after big throw and kind of a loss.
Yeah. No, it's great. Yeah. I think it's important for younger guys to take steps up, and that's cool to see Caleb being able to do that. But, at the end of the day, it's 34-17, and it's not good enough.
Cole, in the last 4 games, you guys have shipped down 2 scores most.
Yeah.
How do you have a sense of what would work if it was a closer game? Are you playing shell defense?
Yeah, well,
that's
absolutely. Yeah. You kind of just have to. It's hard to build upon this type of stuff because this is you don't want to go into next year with multiple games where you're down 2 scores the whole game. So that's not how you want to play offensive football in this league. You got to be able to run the rock, play action, all those type of things. And when you get down 2 scores, especially late in the game, I don't know what you can really take from that, honestly.
Maybe since the first time that you guys played Detroit, the first half's just not been good. And again, today, a couple turnovers and maybe 2-yard play by them. Are you guys closer at all to figuring out what's going on in the first halves or first quarters sometimes?
Hard for me to say we were closer, so the evidence points otherwise. So, that's just kind of where we're at this point. And, we got to be able to finish this thing out. Hopefully guys come to work ready to roll here, and we got a quick turnaround Thursday. And, hopefully that everyone can kind of take some onus on themselves to come in and just try and do what they can and put some really good stuff on tape here.
It's a schedule murder.
Yeah, but it's the NFL. This is not every team's tough. Teams play tough, and the difference between one team to the next really isn't that great. It's not like college football where Alabama's playing some team that they're paying a couple $1 million to come play. This is the NFL, and there's a lot of talent on a lot of these rosters, and the difference really isn't that big. But it really comes down to your execution and the way you play your play style in the football game, and the way we're doing right now. Just not
a couple more.
How many? All right, there's Cole Kmet after the game. Heard from Keenan, heard from Cole. A lot of people in the chat responding to what Cole had to say there. Seemed like the first couple questions were positive, and he was like, yeah, I'm not here for positives. We lost 34-17 to the Lions, which is, and even when it's like, well, what about Caleb? He's making some plays on it. Yeah, good for him.
Right. Well,
we lost.
Yeah, and I'm seeing some in the chat saying that Cole wants out here. Cole does not want out here. Cole wants to win here. Cole is losing his mind, and seemingly, from what I can tell, not winning here. It's, look, when you've
been a tough season, man.
Really, really, really tough year for dudes who have been here for a long time. You think about how much optimism there was, and even when they made the coaching change, those guys were hopeful that Thomas Brown was going to make a difference. Go 3-2, 4-1. He's going to be lucky to go 1-4.
Yeah.
If you're making a bet on it, if you set the over/under at a half, I don't know what I would take. It's a tough play there. Flip a coin.
It's got to be a tough situation for this locker room, especially a guy like Cole Kmet. And something that stood out to me was he said about it comes down to execution. And that's what we see week in and week out, right? They have a great week of practice, right? They feel good about everything, and then on game day, right, we see stuff go awry. And that's what this league is, right? Nothing's going to be perfect, but I think it's executing the simple things, the discipline plays. And when I look at the defense in general, this is a team that started out really well stopping the run, right? Obviously, Andrew Billings is not in there. Jervon Dexter, they've been struggling to stop the run. But when I look at today, the tape, I look at a guy like Austin Booker, right? Obviously, he needs to get stronger. He's a guy that maybe shouldn't be playing on some of those base downs. He's getting driven 5 yards down the field. We see guys getting in gaps they're not supposed to. We see guys like Edmonds not being in the right gap. We see guys, eyes in the backfield when they should be on their keys. So there's little things that, like, it takes no talent at all. It's just about doing the right thing. And they can't even do the simple things, especially a day like today when David Montgomery's not out there, the grinder in between the tackles, and Jamar Gibbs is having 8 to 10 yards on command with wide open holes. So these are little things week in and week out. It doesn't take any talent. You don't need some talented pass rusher from here or there. Stopping the run comes down to effort and being disciplined. And that's something that's creeped in all year, and in particular, especially the past 6 to 8 weeks. When they were rocking, in that 4-2 stretch, we saw them stopping the run. We saw them playing disciplined football. We saw turnovers. We're not seeing much of that right now. So it comes down to execution. And when Cole said that really resonated with me, because I look at some of the places I played, some of the teams I played for, and when we were really rocking, the simple things, the attention to detail things, gap discipline, reading our keys, that's something that we did on a weekly basis.
Well, and you want to make a point, I think, about the defense in the run game and Poles and Andrew Billings in a second. But, look, Cole likes to run the ball, all right? Like, that goes back to last year when he would talk about the offense with Justin. It's going to go into now. And you look at it, you bring up a guy like David Montgomery. Bears used to be able to run the ball when they had David Montgomery. The Bears had 59 yards rushing today. 34 of those came from the quarterback. DeAndre Swift carried it 9 times for 20 yards. Yeah. And something else about Kmet. This is a guy who, say what you want, like, whatever's had some drops this year, not the fastest guy on the field, whatever. But he goes about his business the right way, day in, day out, week in, week out, year in, year out, representing. And what he's witnessing with the Bears and ways in which they have not been professional this year has to drive a guy like that crazy.
Well, he even admitted on last week's show that he's questioning some of his own things now.
Well, when you lose 9 in a row, 8 in a row last week. One other thing, Hoge, and then I'd love to hear you talk about the defense. From Kaylin Kaler of The Athletic, she's got a text here, or a tweet here, excuse me. Craig Reynolds said the whole Lions sidelines was screaming ball during the stumble to make the Bears defense think there was a ball on the ground. Now think about that.
Yeah.
That guys were running this play. Everyone on the sideline being like that is a team. That is a team together.
If it was the same thing on the Bears, half the people would have been like,
"What?"
Well, first of all, that's awesome because it definitely would impact the defense being like, "Where ball?" But two, like most of the times when you're on the sidelines, you don't know what's getting called.
Yep.
So like there has to be at pretty much every position coach, any backup quarterback, anybody that has a headset on that's on the offensive channel. That needs to be communicated pretty quickly that we're all yelling ball on that play. That play was awesome.
Guys, we're going to do this on second down or whatever down it was. So everybody's screaming, by the way, it'll get our guy Ben Johnson paid $8 zillion by the Bears. Yeah.
Let's get this big money super chat in from Kerry Huss.
Huss, we miss you, Huss.
Yeah,
badly.
The good old days of Arizona.
We had only lost 1 in a row at that point.
Yeah. Well, before the game, it was good. Huss was good the whole time. $100, he says, so I got to say, the way this kid still gives his all, never quits, even when they're losing by 20, the plays he's extending and completing when there's, like, zero chance.
Completing. I think he means competing.
No. Well, he's completing them, too. I don't know. What's the TBC?
That's a good question. Huss will have to. I can't speak Huss on that one.
To be Caleb.
To be Caleb. Thomas Brown and Caleb.
Carrie, help us out with that one.
It's to be confirmed, but it doesn't make sense there.
TBD. Meant to
TBD. To be determined.
By the way, I think he's saying.
Regardless, I agree with you, Carrie, because he's taken a beating the last couple of weeks. He's getting up. He's exhausted. We're talking about over here. We're watching the game. How tired he is, and there's definitely no quit there. And that made me feel good about the quarterback.
Yeah.
I mean, even more than that, the throw to Keenan today was sweet. I mean, it was open and it was a good window, but it was perfect.
Should we? By the way, people are asking. Greg went to the game. Greg Braggs went to the game, and he is doing CHGO Bears after dark as soon as we're done here with Lance Briggs. So you still got that to look forward to for those wondering where Greg is right now.
Greg was under the weather early in the week. Greg took every drug possible this weekend, and Greg is ready to go.
He was similar to the Bears, like last second on the injury report for him being here today, and then made a miraculous recovery, and he's ready to go.
We also saw him at the tailgate, and he was unbelievably vile looking, and we had to send him home with his boots and his belt. So we couldn't put him on camera with that.
Did he shake your hand with some black stuff on his head?
I had to dust him off. He had like all this wood on him from the fire. It was we had to send him home to Barb and
we need to
Jenny.
give him some Black and Miles instead of whatever disgusting cigar that is. That's the most
terrible vile cigar too. I mean, the guy was. I mean, it was.
Greg, I'm sorry. I just tried to promote your show.
Your show's gonna be great.
I tried. I don't.
Hey,
Greg,
when I'm driving home,
at the same time.
I'm listening to Braggs and Briggs all day long. I might listen 3 times.
Kerry jumping in with another $50. Can you even imagine what this kid could do with time and offensive players that aren't checked out to Cancun, excluding Keenan? He's been the go-to for weeks. People need to stop talking shit about Caleb, rookie.
Again,
I figured it out. The TBC was to be continued. This is the second super completing the thought. Kerry and I speak Huss.
That's good. That's a good job. Yeah, the Bears are not going to the beaches. We have here at CHGO have stopped that.
We banned them from the beaches.
We banned them from the beaches. They're
going to the beach.
They're going to the Quad Cities. And they're going to hang out with our Bears fans in the Quad Cities.
Cities.
They're going to be chilling at the Mississippi. And
they got a Bears trip every year. I went to it back in 2013 where you go with the fans.
Oh, yeah? They still do that? I remember those.
Yeah. I went with Jerry Azuma, Spice Adams. You know, it was a good time.
Yeah. No,
we were leading exercise class in the pool, so, you know, it was fun.
That's good. I think that's what
Joniak and Larry Mary used to go on those ones.
Yeah.
Come on. Larry?
Holiday Inn, Quad Cities, Bears. That's your trip.
That sounds awful.
You guys want to hear from the head coach or talk about the GM first?
Let's talk about the GM.
Okay.
Let's get to it.
So, when I was driving over from the tailgate this morning over here to the studio, Poles was talking on ESPN 1000 on the pregame show. And he said something I don't disagree with, but still kind of annoyed me, if that makes sense. So, I think the question from Joniak was essentially, you know, what have you learned with Andrew Billings out? Or what have you learned about your defense, you know, with these struggles recently? And he's essentially like, well, learn that Andrew Billings matters a lot. And, like, since he's been out, it's been a struggle. And there's no question. We were all extremely worried when Andrew Billings went out, and it has proven to be true. There's a wide open gap there. Now Javon Dexter's been out the last couple weeks too. But, so, for one, credit to Ryan Poles for that Billings signing and, you know, getting a really good player from what started from basically like a leftover free agent that was out there that you signed on a 1-year deal. And he has been a good player, and you do miss him. I think that still highlights, though, all the other mistakes that have been made. That Andrew Billings matters that much. That you don't have enough depth on the defensive line, A. B, you have a combination of, I would say, a Tremaine Edmonds, who is not living up to the contract you gave him. And C, the guys that people were relatively excited about that looked promising as a rookie, I'm thinking Jaquan Brisker, who's been out now and has continued to be dealing with injuries since his rookie year. And 2, I would say even like a Tyreek Stevenson. And to a certain extent, although not to that level, even Kyler Gordon, there's been a stall in their development this year. So the fact that, and I think just in general, you could say there's a stall there or even a regression with a lot of the defense, even, you know, not accounting for how important Andrew Billings is. The point is, if he matters that much, it just highlights more of the mistakes that have been made. Because he does matter, but he shouldn't matter that much.
Yeah,
is the point.
Exactly. You look at the other side of the ball with Detroit. Aiden Hutchinson, who's arguably one of the best defensive ends, unfortunately had that crazy leg injury this year. And they haven't had the sack numbers and this, that, and the other, but they're winning games. And, hey, it hasn't been perfect defensively, but they're figuring out ways how to get it done. And I think it's just a mark of a good team. When it comes down to Poles, for me, I know we were talking beforehand how you guys said he most likely will be back. I think the opposite. I think it's a 50-50 shot because you look at when he came in, we're going to win the North and never look back and the whole bit. Oh, it's a rebuild. We're going to get there. So 3 years of rebuilding. Where have we got? Back to square one. So for me, I think it's a failure what he's been able to do for this, right? Obviously, the coach with Eberflus, I think that's been one thing. But the fact that he hasn't built in the trenches a sustainable team, offense and defensive line, in 3 years, and we're going to have to go through that same process this offseason and rebuild that whole front, I think for me that's a failure from Ryan Poles.
Yeah, and I also like to point out, and I think something that we've been guilty of ourselves and pretty much everybody, because I know I've said it both on air and conversations I've had off air. It's like, this isn't a bad team. There's more talent here than, it shouldn't be adding up to, 11 losses now? They're more talented than that. They're more talented than that. Okay, guess what, though? Talented teams don't lose 9 games in a row. It just doesn't happen.
Yeah.
Losing 9 in a row, like you're not you are just starting to deny things if you are not admitting, whether you're me or any of us sitting here, but most importantly, the general manager who keeps talking about how great his locker room is.
Yeah, talk about denying things. Great locker room. And then last year's like, I just really like the way Matt Eberflus kept things together.
Is that your Ryan Poles voice? Well, I need to work on that.
No, that's not.
Yeah, you're terrible at voices anyway.
But I do need to work on that. Fair. But that was his thing with Eberflus. The locker room didn't collapse. Dude, you got a real low bar here.
Yeah. So when he talks about the locker room, who are the leaders in this locker room? I'm just being honest. Who's the guy that when something goes awry, when a guy like Tyreek Stevenson is out there acting a fool, trying to trip people, celebrating during the Commanders game when the play's going on, who's going to be the person to right the ship? There hasn't been any of that. There's no leadership in the locker room, right? This locker room is great and all this. Where have we seen this? The Bears are more talented in any other way.
Whoever was at the tailgate got brags too.
Oh,
it appears with the wrong stat.
But this roster, with the right amount of talent, especially wide receiver position, the running back, there's no way, and especially with the secondary, there's no way they should be this bad. We're in a worse position, loss-wise, than we were when he first started.
Well, to rewind to the whole Billings thing, and to that point, the first move he did was go get Larry Ogunjobi.
Yeah.
All right? And then he had to rewind back and say, I'm sorry, your medicals aren't great, and we're pulling out of that. Larry Ogunjobi went on from the Bengals in 2022 and played all 16 games with the Pittsburgh Steelers. And then the next year, he played all 17 games for the Pittsburgh Steelers. And now this year, he's inactive right now, but he's played 13 games for the Pittsburgh Steelers. So just underlining that it's a whole organizational issue. Yeah, no, we're signing Larry Hoge. Yeah, I wouldn't do that. He's got a little bone spur in the knee somewhere, and we don't think he'll ever be able to really play. Hasn't missed a game until now. Dude's been out there every week in the middle of a defense, by the way. And it's also like, quit doing anything. Anything that Pittsburgh does that we didn't do is wrong. Steelers give up a 6th-round pick. Justin played 4-2 football for him, did fine. Oh, you want Chase Claypool? Go ahead, give us that 2nd-round pick.
Yeah,
you don't want Larry Ogunjobi? We'll take him.
The Claypool thing, I think, was the worst part of it. But for me, if I am the one making decisions for the Bears, I got to reconsider Ryan Poles in this situation for next year. I really do. So I don't think he's done enough to have his job be safe. I mean, we're back at square one right now after 3 years of a rebuild. Everyone thought this year, especially after starting out 4-2, this was going to be a playoff team. And setting the consecutive loss record, and looks like the locker room is checked out, and you feel good about your quarterback, but every part of the team you don't feel good about. You don't feel good about the leadership. You don't feel good about the trenches. So there's a lot of things they got to improve this year, especially if they're going to take the right steps. I think it starts with the head coach. And if I'm the Bears, I'm going to have a head coach and GM on the same schedule. I'm going to have to do it that way.
Yeah, I think that's the part that matters because I would be worried about, okay, you bring in a new coach, but the GM only has 1 year left on his deal. You're just going to leave him in that spot? You're not going to because one, I don't think he's earned an extension.
No.
I'm with you on that. And I think we learned from the Ryan Pace situation that you don't just extend him just because you want to get him on the same schedule, because you just got him on the same schedule with the with something that ended up didn't working out.
Yep.
Right? So yeah, that's the tough thing about it. And so it seems like you got to either extend him or let him go. I mean, I guess you don't have to, but that puts Ben Johnson or whoever you're hiring in a tough spot. I don't know. It is tricky. It is tricky. You got to navigate that.
I mean, if Ben Johnson is just super confident, you guys want to give me 6 years and pay me $15 million a year, whatever it's going to be, and I might have to work with another GM in a year. Maybe he's good with that, but there is a chance that he's not.
Well, maybe he's cool with Poles to start, and he's like, but he has it kind of written in his contract that if Poles is out, then he gets to have say in who the next GM is.
Exactly. I think money talks. The Bears have to have a strong offer. If the zeros are right, I think he's willing to take it. But if they're like, then you have to negotiate some things.
I mean, if you want to give Poles the benefit of the doubt, he does what I would call reasonable things.
Well, the trade is something you could still hang your hat on.
Right. Yeah. Well, and that was also, in my mind, reasonable. Like, okay, we're going to give Justin a chance with more talent because it would be unfair to let him go. So it would fall under reasonable. Same thing with Matt Eberflus. Like, hey, man, we won 3 games tearing it down. He won 7 last year. It's a 4-game improvement. Wouldn't be fair to fire the guy. Never really gave him a roster. It's reasonable. Trading a second-round pick for Montez Sweat could fall under the reasonable. But he hasn't done anything that is sexy. Where is the sex appeal here? And he just hasn't had it.
Let's look at it a little bit. And this is I talk about this from time to time over the years, and I admit that I fall into it myself. But we have a habit in this town of talking up average to slightly below average players.
Oh, we love it.
Like they're Pro Bowlers or All Pros, because we don't know what an All Pro roster actually looks like. This is just it's time to be honest about this. And here's the thing about Ryan Poles. You know, obviously the trade was great. You ended up with Caleb. You got a lot of draft picks out of it. Yes, the cap situation's good. There's a lot of attractive things to want to come to here if you're a head coaching candidate. That's all great. Where are the all-pro players?
They're in Detroit and Green Bay and in Minnesota.
I mean, who has he signed or drafted that is a legitimate all-pro player?
I mean, Sweat was playing like that last year, but not this year.
No. He's gotten some guys, some good, probably a handful you'd say are slightly above average starters, and those are important players. You want to have a roster with some of those guys filling out, but you want them
exactly
with, oh, here's an all-pro over here, though, and here's an all-pro over here. No, he traded away Khalil Mack. I get why he had to do it, but that is an all-pro Hall of Fame type player now playing for somebody else. His head coach happens to be Jim Harbaugh. That's just a coincidence. Guys been watching the Ravens? Like every once in a while we come back to Roquan Smith.
Yeah, no, he's
balling.
And that's another example. And I'll admit we probably did it here on this show. Yeah, but you got the 2-for-1. You got the 2 linebackers for what you were going to pay Roquan. Okay. But Roquan, all pro. So at some point you have to have those players. You have to draft them. I would feel better about Ryan Poles if Darnell Wright was looking as good as Jalen Carter is in Philly. And he's not. He's just, again, I think he's probably a good right tackle.
Yeah, let me pass on the 3-tech who could impact the entire defense so I could pick the right tackle that I could find that I'm going to say a dime a dozen, but there's a lot of them out there.
So
ain't great.
Where I come down on this is I'm actually not sitting here trying to kill Ryan Poles. I'm just saying that other than the trade, I don't know what you point to as you absolutely can't lose this guy right now. It's hard to make that argument. And so right now I would say you probably keep him and try to find a coach that you can pair and try to pair with them and keep this thing going. And hopefully the new coach can coach up some of these players, because I don't think the coaching staff has held up their end of the bargain. If you take some of these, average to above average players and make them all pros, because that's part of this too. And there hasn't been enough development going on. But who hired the coaches?
Right.
And that's part of it too. So it's just,
who sat in the room with a rookie quarterback and was like, yes, I love you, Shane Waldron.
Ugh.
Who did that?
Yeah, I mean, you look at the good organizations, they do it from the top down, right? From how they draft talent to how they develop it, and over time, like the Bears were notorious for doing that defensively, right? Lance Briggs was a 3rd-round pick. Peanut Tillman was a 2nd or 3rd-round pick. Tommy Harris, they hit on him when he was healthy. Henry Melton was a 4th-rounder, was playing at a Pro Bowl level before he tore his ACL. So they hit on a lot of guys, but it's all about developing that talent. I think for so long we did that defensively. But when I look at the Bears offensively and offensive line, the best offensive line they've had, obviously besides the 85 Bears, was probably that year they made the Super Bowl with John Tate, Reuben Brown, Olin Kreutz, Garza, and them. Fred Miller. That was probably the best offensive line that they've had. And I think you win it in the trenches. And obviously people talk about the quarterback position, but I think offense and defensive line, they had it figured out.
Should we hear from Thomas Brown? Bears interim head coach spoke after the game. And I'm interested to hear what he had to say, because there were some interesting coaching decisions that were made in this football game. Here's Thomas Brown.
Game recap, obviously, turn the ball over twice early in the game. Don't give yourself much of a shot. I think we had 10 total penalties. So, obviously, that kind of puts you behind the 8 ball. And I do appreciate the way the guys continue to battle and keep fighting, but it's not good enough. Got to, coach it better, demand a better result, and back to work tomorrow. Questions?
With Braxton, he didn't have to go to the hospital.
I'm not sure. I haven't been told yet.
You guys have been down multiple scores pretty quick the last couple of weeks.
Yeah.
What sort of evaluation can you get of your offense and of your quarterback in those situations where you're chasing points?
Yeah, you can evaluate everything. I think the way guys respond, how they handle adversity. I think also kind of being in the moment, not having the penalties, how we sustain some drives and put those things together. So I think everything's always under evaluation. Obviously want to be able to have a better start and, kind of get in the flow of the game. But, again, shoot yourselves in the foot makes it difficult.
Especially late in the game. Is there stuff you see there that will apply in the future when Caleb is playing with a lead or playing in a tie game late? Or is it just kind of a different game if you're down 17 and everybody knows you're throwing,
Yeah, I'll be honest with you. I don't think much about the future. I'm trying to win the game right now. And so my mind is focused on the current moment. And then once that's over with, what's next? So don't think much about it.
It was a 4th down. I want to say it was the second half. It was 4th and 7. You elected to kick instead of going for what went into that decision, especially since obviously you went for a 4th down later in the 4th quarter.
Yeah, so those 4th downs, I think 4th and 2, 3, 4 is a little bit different than 4th and 7 or plus and 7. So thought process is really simple. Get points, stay in the game, trust your defense to get a stop and go back and score again.
Is there ever a situation where obviously the postseason is not in contention for you all? You all really have nothing to lose. Is that mindset that we're just going to go for it if we're in that situation again?
Not at all. I think it's about understanding the flow of the game, making smart decisions, and just going forward. Just to say you're going to go forward to me is bad coaching. So, no, I don't think that at all.
Thomas, when Caleb got sacked later in the 4th quarter, was that out of Cairo's kick range, which is why you guys took the delay?
Correct. Yep. Mm-hmm.
You mentioned the penalties. 4th and 1, you get an offsides, and then you got Jalen with the penalty for batting the ball there. Is that what's the root of that? Do they have? Is it discipline? Is it focus?
Well, I think both of those penalties are a little bit different. Obviously, I don't limit as much how much I can communicate about them. So Jalen to me is a little bit different than jumping off sides on fourth down. I think it just boils down to being locked in, being detailed, and I don't think the only thing is be coached.
What was your impression of the offensive line with so many players out, moving pieces? How do you think they performed today?
Yeah, I think it was solid overall for the most part. Still got to be better. We got to try to find better ways to get them in the flow of the game and kind of alleviate some pressure off of them. But obviously being down multiple scores kind of just dictates the flow of the game at times and trying to get back in it. Awesome. Thank you.
Real quick, you have a short week. What are you doing? What can you do as head coach to make sure that everybody's as fresh as they can be, I guess, on Thursday?
Obviously, first off, it starts with just the messaging, being open and honest about what it takes moving forward. We'll have a couple double walkthroughs to get guys as fresh as possible so we can still get the information in, kind of get ready to go, and cut it loose on Thursday. Appreciate it.
Yeah, quick turnaround for the Bears. They got to come back and play Thursday against the Seahawks at Soldier Field.
Which I'm guessing they're 11. They don't have to practice at all. Just take a couple days off. Just get as much recovery as you can. Come on out there.
There's no days off.
Days off. Recover.
This week?
Get a massage. Walk through. Act like you can.
And meetings and walkthroughs and all and Christmas.
Thinking about where they're going after the season, honestly.
I'm going to guess that the
focus weekend off.
The focus on those installs might be similar to my focus
in ping pong today.
Ooh, that hurts. I did have a bad focus in ping pong today, but I was going to say it in my high school career. Look, get through the next couple of days. Show up there Thursday night. Do the best you can. Go on break for the rest of the week, and then show up and do what you can and show up and play Green Bay and then go off to the Mississippi.
I didn't like his answers on the fourth downs. Yeah. It's the one thing that stood out to me on that press conference. Yeah. The first one, he's talking about the decision to go for a field goal. I think it was 4th and 6. I want to say is what it was. Maybe it was 4th and 7. But you're down 20. And he said that,
just because it says to go for it.
Let's just get some points and stay in the game is my mindset. Dude, that's not how it works. It's a 3-possession game. Your goal needs to make it a 2-possession game by the end of the possession. It's not an impossible 4th down situation. In fact, we saw them convert some of them later.
And the way your defense was playing,
right?
You didn't have any confidence.
You're going to go down 17 and says 20 when you can't get a stop. Like, it doesn't make any sense to me. And then the other one was more complicated because they somehow turned a 2nd and 2, I believe, in the 4th and 20. Was that the same drive? I think it might have been. Maybe not. But anyway, it's 4th and 20. You've now been sacked out of field goal range. I get it. But I still would have gone for it in the 4th and 20.
What do you have to lose?
And he's like, yeah, well, just go for it. That's bad coaching. Yeah, but it's the only chance you have to win the game. You're saying you're trying to win the game. That's the only chance you had there. Even though it's 4th and 20, you got to convert that. You got to try. Give Caleb Williams a chance. And by the way, I don't know. Every team the Bears play every single week that has a 3rd and 15 or 3rd and 17 seems to have no problem converting it against your defense.
Throw the ball over there, pick up 5 yards, and just run forward. Don't worry.
He wasn't playing to win the game because if you were, you would have went for it. That's the thing. He was playing to keep it close and have them put up an effort where, hey, they don't go down the field and score at that point. So he was playing to keep it close and not win the game.
My biggest disappointment with Thomas Brown in his 3 games now that he's been the interim head coach, and completely unfair position for him. Nobody was going to rescue the situation. But I did think that he would be, for lack of a better way of putting it, just a bigger hard ass. He's sort of just been kind of this nice guy, and I asked him about celebrating when you're down, like what he thinks about it. He's like, what do I think about it? Yeah, I'm like, yes. What do you think about it? He's like, oh, it's hard to score in this league. And I'm like,
didn't he say he hasn't even really thought about it?
Yeah, and I
wasn't even paying attention to it.
Like, I'm like, dude,
everybody sees that when they scored a big play. Like, come on.
I thought you were going to be like tough integrity guy and give a little more of a stern, voice from the head coaching spot than they had with Flus, and he just, at least publicly, he hasn't even come close to doing that. So it's that's been disappointing for me.
That's one thing, but the players for me, I mean, you have to play with pride. Every time you put on the uniform, you put on that chin strap, you got to play with pride. I think this year, especially as of late, you don't see enough of that. You see guys making business decisions left and right. And I feel like you're not respecting the game. You're not respecting your teammates. You're not respecting the franchise. And it's just frustrating because there's guys that would be killing right now that are sitting on their couch that were on, a team in the, summertime during training camp. They'd be killing for this opportunity. And you see guys doing that. It's disrespecting the game. You got to look in the mirror at the end of the day because people are playing for their livelihoods for next year. Not everybody's going to be on this team. So just like Keenan Allen said, I'm playing for the other 31 teams out there. That's what essentially this is. This is your audition to other teams because guys are going to get cut. Guys, contracts are expiring. Respect the game. That's my only thing because you never know when this game could be taken away from you. We've seen some of these traumatic injuries that have happened. Some guys that who knows how they'll come back. So respect the game every time you put on that chin strap. Give it your all. Give it your effort for the teammate next to you and for the franchise.
I mean, Jalen Johnson had a freak out in the locker room in Detroit when Matt Eberflus didn't call a timeout. And that level of upset in front of Kevin Warren, in front of Ryan Poles, and I'm not going to put this all on Jalen, but like that locker room in essence, that was the end of Flus. And you would think from that point forward that you would really assume a huge leadership. I'm going to go about my business in the absolute right way the rest of the way because I'm a pro. And Jalen just looks like he is beyond frustrated and just can't wait for this thing to be over right now.
And he's not playing to the level that he was earlier in the season. Yeah. I think that's evident, right? You're supposed to be our Pro Bowl shutdown corner. Regardless of what happens, you control what you can control. Yeah. You haven't seen much of that. So that's the problem I have. Sometimes when you go on 670 to score and want to tear down everybody else, if you're not doing what you're supposed to do out there, how could you speak about somebody else? That's my only thing as a former player, right? How are you going to talk about somebody else if you're not doing what you need to do?
And I would imagine there's some players in that locker room that feel that same way. Yeah. I would imagine so. All right, should we get to Carm's notes?
Absolutely. Let's get to Carm's notes.
Carm's notes are brought to you by Sunnyside Cannabis Dispensary. You can visit sunnyside.shop for bright buys every day, including 50% off your first 3 online purchases. Enter promo code HICHGO at checkout to qualify. Exclusions apply. Sunnyside Cannabis Dispensary. Bright buys every day, only for 21 plus or Illinois medical card holders.
So these notes today were written on a special pad. Doubletree by Hilton, because that's where we stayed in London.
That was the last good
time the Bears won. I don't know if I was allowed to take this pad from the Doubletree, but I did. So
what are those stains on there? What is that?
Don't worry about it. It's, everything's good here. And by the way, this also takes me back to singing in the streets in London, perhaps after a couple of cockies, Woot, and singing Doubletree, Comfort Me. We were
Doubletree,
comfort me. I want to go home to thee. We're 4-2. Anyway, okay. We start the notes with Tyler Scott. Kickoff return.
Yeah, your
My
guy.
man.
How
Your
excited
guy.
were you?
Yeah.
Your guy.
You need this pillow?
Yeah.
Oh.
I mean, I was so unbelievably excited to see 10 get some run today.
And what did he do?
Yeah, he did fine.
He fell down.
He did fine. First pass of the game. Do you remember it? Little out to Keenan, behind him.
That sucked.
0 for 1. And then the fast forward will head to the Tyreek Stevenson late hit on Goff on the out. And then you had the Jameson Williams moment, which turned into the Dan Campbell moment, which turned into the 82-yard bomb moment.
I thought it was crazy that Jameson had another penalty, like similar to what happened in Detroit. But credit to coaches, they handled it well.
Yeah,
and he looked like Randy Moss outrunning everybody.
And don't sleep on Dan Campbell. 4th and 2, no score in the ball game. Danny Campbell. Let me put some points on the board. All you people think that I'm going to go for anything. 3-0 Lions. We don't think that the Bears are going to score a whole lot.
That worked.
Then another shout out to Ben Johnson. Remember Jahmyr Gibbs at the goal line? 1st and goal, didn't get in. 2nd and goal, didn't get in. 3rd and goal, why is this so hard? The 2nd and goal when he's weirdly fell down. 3rd and goal, we're going again. Bang, up the middle, touchdown.
You mean they didn't try a speed option?
Right. Didn't try the speed option. Didn't try to throw
Keep it simple.
Kept
right?
it. Kept it.
Didn't hand it off to an offensive lineman?
Mr. Creative was about to come up with the greatest play in that we've seen in Soldier Field in a long time, with the entire offense, the whole entire team saying ball. He kept it real simple right there, which showing both ends. How about when did anybody catch when after Rome Odunze fumbled and they went on the handoff and they're sitting there and he's trying to explain to him, and DJ Moore's sitting behind him just looking at him cross-eyed. Like, what the
And then DJ Moore dropped his own
lateral
later.
Yeah, no, that happened too. And that fast forward ahead to the second fumble on Rome that Rome had. It's his 3rd on the year. It's like anything that can go wrong will go wrong for the Bears. Now, by the way, did anybody notice on Ben Johnson today that first of all, rewind back to Shane Waldron and when he's holding the play sheet.
How shaky he was?
Yeah. So Ben was very calm, and then he writes with the left hand. He's a lefty man.
Oh, that's a good observation.
Yeah.
I did notice he's got the red Sharpie.
Yeah, he's a lefty on his right.
You know where he grew up?
What
What Catholic parish he went to and played CYC?
Come on, Carmepedia.
Okay.
Carmepedia is going to fail this Woot test. Go ahead.
Yeah, I don't know.
Oh, okay. Oh, got it. Adam Hoge, ladies and gentlemen, he predicted that the Bears had.
Are you struggling to read your handwriting?
Yeah.
It is so bad.
I said predicts Bates Mills almost leaking.
How could someone?
The Lions kicker.
Fade.
The
He's
ball
fading
was
it.
fading to the right, and I thought he would miss the next one.
Yes, that was that one.
Well, I was worried he was going to miss that one, and then he almost did, but it went in. And the next one, I said he's definitely missing this one.
Yep, and he made
Now,
it.
granted, that ended up being like 60 yards.
Yeah, we thought he was going to do one of Bragg's golf swings, where slices full right.
Yeah. Which, by the way, Carm's notes now, in addition to being brought to you by Sunnyside, it would be brought to you by Adam Hoge, who knows Carm way too well just to know that I couldn't read my writing there. How about the Coleman Shelton? I swear there's a hand on my ass snap where Caleb was in the shotgun and it just popped up into the air.
I think because he thought it was an under center snap.
5 yards short of where Caleb
That was
was.
so bad.
It made me think of Cody Whitehair when he was rolling the ball back to him last year.
We don't have to talk about that.
Yeah. Now that does take us to the Goff fake fumble. Ben Johnson looking amazing. Touchdown that Bears fans will be thinking about tonight and for a while, and hoping that Ben Johnson wants to come here. Adam Hoge on the Lions 3rd and 17. Jahmyr Gibbs, let me go block you, and let me go block you. That was
heads up, man.
That was.
That was some really good running back play. He was out. He was sitting underneath on the check down. Didn't go to him. Immediately went to go block somebody. Got him. He looked like an offensive lineman climbing to the second level. I'm going to go get this guy, and then I'm going to go get that guy.
Exactly. We're not talking about Lorenzo Neal out there. We're talking about Gibbs doesn't really want to block, but shielded both guys. They got a first down on 3rd and 17.
That's how you get it done.
And it was at that point after that play that I got frustrated, started walking around the office, and I went into our other suite over there, and I found this. To the CHGO crew, wishing you so much happiness and fun over the holiday season, as well as continued success into the new year. Don't know what I'd do without you all. Bear down. With love, Kelly Whitten, a.k.a. Dr. Bunny. She sent us cookies from the Pinckney Cookie Company. Cookie
Dr.
Cafe.
Bunny.
Where I didn't see these cookies yet. Where are they?
They're
Carm was
over
stashing
there.
them all.
Why are they not on our set?
Well, excellent question, Hoge. But go over there. Thank you, Dr. Bunny. Super nice of you, Kelly. We appreciate it. And that was right before Woot my guy, took care of everybody here with the 3 Lou Malinotti's pizzas today.
And then what else did I take care of on the ping pong?
And then Woot smoked. I don't know what happened.
Excuse me, can you explain it? Say with some bass in your voice.
It was a rough.
What?
Woot beat me 21-15.
Okay, thank you. And what were you talking? Reckless? You're single digits because last time you didn't even get the double digits.
There were some text exchanges at about 7:30 this morning.
I was the Lions today, and you were the Bears. You know that? Took out the belt.
I wasn't that bad, but
it was bad.
Yeah. Then moving along, there was Kevin Kadick talking about his scenario. The Chiefs win the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Andy Reid says, that's enough for me. Hands the team off to Matt Nagy.
Yeah.
And then Reid just somehow miraculously decides after he does all that, you know what? I want to go to Chicago and win with Caleb just to show that I'm really, really the greatest coach of all time, and I'm going to pass Don Shula that way.
And at no point in that timeline do the Bears hire a different head coach.
Right.
No.
It's March 1st. They still haven't hired a head coach, and Andy Reid's like, I want to go there.
Yeah. Andy Reid's going to win 5 Super Bowls with Patrick Mahomes. Yeah. Then he'll ride off into the sunset and retire and live on a beach somewhere.
Yeah. Shout out on the broadcast to Zook's Dog Treats, which was an ad today. I appreciate a dog treat ad. Poppy the puppy appreciated that. And then this was the Hoge moment of the day. You had a false start or something, and then you were like, or there was a fumble or whatever there was.
No, it was when DJ Moore dropped the
more fumble. Yeah, more fumble.
The lateral.
Yeah. And then Hoge said they're like, the next play is going to be a false start, and this always messes them up. And then 5 seconds later, false start. Did you just burp?
No.
What just happened?
I was looking at one of the comments.
Easy there, Blaze the Nugs. Slow down there, buddy. My guy. And so Hoge nailed that.
Well,
and then lastly.
Not exactly.
And then lastly, is Corey Wootton just sitting there really, we did it on the show, and you did it before, and you've been singing Keenan Allen's praises all day long here.
I do.
And you really love Keenan.
Oh, don't you agree? He's been one of the more reliable targets for our quarterback.
I think that the Bears have a lot of problems, and
he's priority number 78.
There's been some weird players that have been picked on this year, I feel like, that are like not even in the top 100 of actual issues, and he's one of them.
Yeah.
The tight end is another one.
Yeah.
There's a few more to go around. By the way, we should also talk about the left side of the Bears offensive line.
The 2 guys who might have played their last game in a Bears uniform today.
Yeah. Braxton Jones didn't look pretty.
It's on the table. Braxton's still got a year left on his rookie deal, so I would assume that he's still back. Whether or not he's a starter is a different thing. How bad that ankle injury, though, because carted off with an air cast.
Did not look good.
And then Tevin went out with a calf and did not return. So,
can we get a replay there, Fox? On
must have been bad.
Yeah, they usually don't show it now if it's too bad.
Okay.
However, our teammate Greg Braggs will definitely send you a weird-looking photo of Tank Dell's leg pointing in the wrong direction when you were purposely trying to avoid watching the video because you were driving in the car when the injury happened and heard it on the radio and knew because C.J. Stroud was crying on the field that you probably didn't need to see the video, but then your friend sent you the photo instead.
Yeah, that's interesting because I know somebody who just had an Achilles surgery, got injured playing recreational hoop, and I got the picture of the open Achilles sent to me.
Oh.
Didn't really need that.
Did Bragg send you about his ACL surgery?
Yeah, now he's going to do that. His next surgery, he's going to live stream it on Braggs in the Stands.
Yo, he needs to get off his phone. He is addicted to his phone. He's always over there on the spots, whatever you call him on Twitter.
No, what do you say?
It's true. I will be live streaming on Braggs of the Stands by surgery, and thank you to Howard Ankin and Ankin Law, and also to my friends over at the Craft Cave.
Collector's Cave.
Excuse me. I don't know what.
Craft Cave.
I've been
Arson
it's been a long day. Collector's Cave, my guys. Where's Aaron, my guy?
Thank you, Greg. I did want to see it. Thank you. Didn't you have a super? We should get to supers.
Let's get to supers.
All right. Chubbs?
Oh my God, Giuseppe's been sitting here with $100 super that we didn't hit. That's not good.
No, we should hit that. Giuseppe, yeah, $100.
That's a bad job by us.
Today,
we apologize, Giuseppe.
Today was an example of flashes of what we could be. We have talent, undisciplined, and poorly coached. Under the right leadership, we will be okay. For God's sake, get 85 more involved. He was open a few times, but 18 just doesn't see him. 18 coached up right will be great. That's the attitude, Giuseppe.
They might have to offer Ben Johnson a part of ownership.
Give him whatever he wants.
I'd give him 100% right now.
Ben?
Give him 51%.
We would like to offer you $3 billion worth of ownership. Will you come here and do this?
Just one catch. You don't get a stadium.
Right. We don't know if we'll ever build one.
Yeah.
It's fine as long as they win. I don't care.
Yeah.
They could play on 94. I couldn't care less.
Are we doing all the supers?
Bring them back to Wrigley.
Oh, okay. We're gonna. Okay, we got this. Richard Budnick, $2. Has the team quit on polls at this point?
I don't know if they quit on polls. They might have quit on themselves.
Yeah,
I think they quit on themselves.
Justin Smith, $5. ATP shouldn't. Oh, at this point. By the way, guys, we're not going to do that. The abbreviation's not my strong suit. We know this. Shouldn't we just blow this up? Blow this roster up isn't built to win anything anytime soon. I don't know if you got to blow it up. It's not that point. It's not like it's a bad cap situation where you got to get money off the books. Number 2, am I wrong for thinking we should have never fired Pace?
Yes, you are wrong. Very wrong. Really wrong.
For the record, the team that Ryan Pace now works with is now eating $90 million worth of guaranteed money of the quarterback that they signed before drafting a rookie, which he did twice in Chicago.
Great process.
Buffoon, $5.
Uh-oh.
Do you do us, in your opinion, what percentage of the Lions' season success do you put on Dan Campbell, the Lions roster, and Ben Johnson?
A lot.
All the above.
Yeah. A lot. Your turn, Carm.
Giuseppe back at us. I loved how 85 is not smiling. He actually cares. Another $2 from Giuseppe. Me too, man. I agree.
Yeah, Cole's had enough this year.
It's like somebody. Cole actually can go on vacation. The rest of the team cannot. $5 from Brendan Henderson. Would you rather have McCaskey on his 5th try of a GM hire or Poles on his 2nd chance at a head coaching hire? I'd rather not think about that, what you just underlined there, Brendan. But I to answer it, Poles. George, somebody needs to help George out. Isn't there like a
Was George there for Ronick the other night? Was that what he was?
He was there for Ronick. Hire Ronick. Maybe he's bringing Ronick to the Bears.
Makes me feel bad that I gave up my tickets.
They played well that night.
Even George went. Wait, was that the comeback night?
No,
that was the other one.
Cruised 3-1.
That's right.
It was scintillating.
Did you fall asleep?
No, I was up the whole time. Okay. I took a nap beforehand in my car on Ogden Avenue.
Oh, they told me that story. Yeah.
Great nap.
Great job taking a nap in the city.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is great. Just smart, safe.
Hey,
Carm doesn't
I trust
care.
this city, unlike some people out there. And then I walked into the barn, saw our fine people from Sunnyside. It was a great night. All right, the Gooch is here. Donald Gooch, my guy.
Oh, yeah, the Gooch.
The Gooch has made it. Poles extension on same timeline as Ben Johnson. We can talk all we want, but that's what will happen. See, the Gooch has spoken. And you can speculate all you want, but Gooch, what Gooch says goes.
Okay, Gooch.
Let me do this one from Braggs.
Yeah.
Braggs in the stands.
Corey holding a pillow in his jams. Pillow talk.
Get out of there and eat your Taco Bell and get ready for your show with Lance, you bum. All right, that's it.
Briggs and Brown. Briggs and Braggs coming up here in a minute.
Steven. Did he put you up to this?
I've actually had this one in the chamber for a while. I just felt right now.
Oh, we should be using this more. This is great.
Oh, that should be a T-shirt right there.
That's adorable.
Look at that look on his face, too. I'm a little scared.
That's deviant right there.
Yeah.
Some demons in there, boy, I'll tell you.
that man is going to be sitting next to somebody on an airplane in those pajamas in a few hours.
Oh, yeah.
That's the best part is you You wore that all the way from home today.
Yeah.
And you're going home on another flight. That's great.
Exactly.
Anybody who gets a pic of Woot at the airport going out of here, we will.
Carm will give you $100 each.
I'll hook you up with a CHGO T-shirt.
Is that a onesie or
no? This is two separate. It's a sweatsuit. It's a twosie.
Yeah, in reality, those are just sweatpants and a sweatshirt, right?
Exactly.
They're just Christmas.
Had to throw the Jordans on, the red ones, the
Actually
11s.
awesome. I'm gonna buy those.
You get a picture with Woot at Midway. T-shirt for you.
Ooh, I like that. One more from Huss, $10. This is for Woot's onesie.
It's a twosie, Huss.
Yeah, twosie.
Close enough.
Huss.
You thought ye heard us calling his name. Arizona Huss.
Bragg's, $5. Everyone come out to our last tailgate on Thursday. Starts at 3 p.m. You know, I gotta say, didn't we have a cold one the first year too? This might have been our coldest tailgate ever this morning. Great turnout. Loved everybody there. We had a good time, and we got one more on Thursday. It should be a little bit warmer, and it's in the afternoon, 3 o'clock. Hopefully, we see you there.
I'm getting a massage beforehand, 11 o'clock. I'm going to be in a great mood. Yeah.
Going post-Christmas massage?
Yes. Seeing my guy.
Post-Christmas drink?
I got a massive left Achilles situation going on right now. Need some significant attention. That's why I lost to you at ping pong. Woot.
Rematch after this.
Carm's grades will be written right after that. Check it out.
Is it Kevin Kadek's birthday?
Is it?
Yeah, I just saw that in Slack. We went
undercover birthday? That's very disappointing. He's left. He's the building too.
Oh man.
What kind of operation is this? I blame.
At least he got some Lumels.
Exactly.
We did.
He got a birthday.
Woot hooked him up with the Lumels. That's true.
He
can't
knew.
go wrong with that.
He just went undercover birthday. I would have walked in there like, it's my birthday. Hello.
Oh. When's your birthday, by the way?
Actually,
forgot?
August 11th.
Training camp.
Leo, dog. King of jungle. King of ping pong. King of Blaze the Nugs.
Why do you say why does he say all these questionable things?
He can't control himself. He just starts saying things and
look.
singing things.
Oh,
and they usually make me laugh. I just
you
thought
think
of
we
one
can get a shirt made? Cockies with Carm.
Yeah.
And a picture of him.
I've
like
been
this.
begging. I've been begging for a T-shirt.
Can we get that one?
But they only do that for like Brags around here.
Bragg's his own line of clothing.
Greg Bragg's line, the Brooklyn line.
All right. Well, I'd like to personally apologize to Kevin Kadek for missing his birthday.
Yeah, happy birthday, Kevin.
And speaking of that, by the way, my guy.
Here comes a random shout out.
Yeah, my guy, the sack man's coming. I'm your man, Dent.
Why does
Rodney Dent? One of our fine diehards. His birthday was earlier in the week. Forgot to get it out there, but it's out there now, Rodney. You are the man. We appreciate your support, and I hope your birthday goes as well as
you after Christmas massage,
as the Bears season next year is going to go. This is all going to turn around. 9 losses in a row, or 11 or 10 or whatever it ends up to being. We're going to flip it around next year.
11.
And roll the table.
Calling it right now. Hey, I'm back over 500. That's the good news. All right. I think we're good here.
Would you like to congratulate me on winning the competition this year by a landslide on our picks? Landslide, buddy. Landslide.
That's the only thing you're going to win because ping pong is about to be
pure domination.
After this, domination.
You're going back to single digit.
All right, let's see it.
Okay, we'll go back to see it.
The GOAT jumping in with $20. Mark Gauthier saying Merry Christmas and Happy Hanukkah.
Thank you, GOAT. You're the man.
Happy Hanukkah.
On Christmas, right?
Yeah, we're trying to compete this year. It's It's not going to go.
You didn't go November this year?
No, it's not going to.
You celebrate both?
Yeah, of course. It's not going to go well for us. We always take the L. We understand that Christmas is Christmas and you can't compete with Christmas, but we're do our best over here for the. We'll go 8 days. Try to add it up and just be in the distance, just doing something. Have a latke. It's a potato pancake. No, latke, Emma.
She's trying to say that you're wrong.
Yeah. Oh, I'm not going to take that from Alperovich. That's not taking that.
All right. We're at the part of the show where if we don't shut up, then I guess it's not bad if more supers come in.
Gorlami.
Yeah, Gorlami. Woo, back in the day, I met your mother and sister while I was working at Hardigan's Ice Cream Shop. Lovely humans.
Are you serious? Hardigan's is one of the best places going.
Yep.
Give me a little Central Avenue, Evanston. Come on. Come on.
Exactly. So my parents, my sister, they're all foodies, so they've been probably to every place in Chicago. They're actually in St. Louis right now visiting me for the holidays, so they're spending time with the fam, so I'm going to go meet them, but man, a small world.
Which one are you? Are you with Blaze or are you with Giuseppe?
Blaze.
Okay. Okay. Hey, I had a great trip down Central Avenue yesterday going to see. We'll just sit here and talk for a while.
How about their new arena, though?
Northwestern,
pretty next level.
Northwestern smoked DePaul yesterday. I'll give you one. Hey, Northwestern fans. When your team goes up 18-2 to start the game and the timeout is called, get off your ass and stand up and give them a cheer. Hello, that's a standing ovation. Come on, Cat fans.
I'm sorry, Cats fans. They don't really know what's going on. They need to get more into it.
Listen,
the same problem at times. Unless we were really rocking in the season, they weren't really that.
If my guy Maury could get up and show a little appreciation, Brooks Barnheiser and company would appreciate it.
Well, Carm, how about this? We'll schedule it for one of these games. We'll go on the court at halftime. We'll get them going. Carman and Woo.
I'm down.
We'll do it.
I'm down.
Okay?
I'm down.
And then you'll debut your new shirt.
Yes.
Khakis with Carm.
Sure.
That's where I can dominate Carm on the basketball court. Right there, halftime show, one-on-one. Carm versus Hoge. Might as well have more witnesses.
Shout out the Little Island on over there too. Outstanding burger. All right.
Any other shout outs?
Shout out to Krista Hoge. The fact that just the ability to keep you sane does not happen here. So we got to shout out Krista and we thank her. So there.
All right. Let's see what we got going on tomorrow. We got All NFL at noon tomorrow. Make sure you check that out. There's been some crazy results we'll be breaking down on the whole league, and then at 1 p.m. right back here, CHGO Bears.
Knocking it down on a Monday. We'll have
we got a little bit of a abbreviated holiday schedule this week. But
who is on the show tomorrow with me?
I believe it might be a Greg and Herb Howard.
It's a Braggs and
a Lance Briggs segment, maybe
with a Briggs segment.
Yeah, I don't know. It's your show.
I could survive that. If it's my show, I might just go solo and just hang out, talk to myself, and look at Steven, who's shaking his head. No,
don't do that.
No,
we've already been doing that for the last 5 minutes.
Yeah, that's what this show has been the last 20 minutes.
I'll stop talking. Sidewalk show coming for those you want to meet me out in Madison. Let's go.
Hey, CHGO Bears After Dark's coming up next. Lance Briggs and Greg Braggs. They're going to hold it down. Extended coverage as we always have on Bears game days. We will all be tuned in for that. We'll talk to you tomorrow. See you later.